Hello and welcome to today's video. Patch 1.023 has finally landed, and we did even get a nice little 404 hours and 4 gold keys maintenance reward for it. So let's go over it. Let me showcase all the changes so you guys can see what is different and you don't have to look after the patch notes because I've got it all timestamped in this video for you. And welcome, special like, comment, and subscribe for more daily videos with me, MrSneakyy, and it is Call of Dragons we're covering. Yes, patch 1.023 is here, and I'm going to give you all the lowdown, everything you need to know that has changed, so you guys don't mess up or miss anything in here. So, straight away, let's go into all of the city skins and cosmetic sections that has been added first, and I can also address the Annervasry event since there's a lot of questions regarding it. But first, Flames of Heaven. This is the new flashy, woo, Cavalry Skin people are going crazy kind of about. But I'm not too hyped. I'm not going to lie, I'm not too hyped about this. This is the latest great hyped skin that you're going to be able to get. And I'm only going to suggest if you are a rally leader, meaning if you have a maxed out T5 account with maxed out artifacts and you're running a maxed out cavalry march, meaning you've got all of the cavalry marches maxed out, you're going to want this because this is the only thing that's going to probably allow you in the long term, in the maybe season 1, season 2, season 3 and so forth, to actually like deal damage in this game with your cards when it comes to rallying, because there's no other really good ones for you. And when it comes to open field, I'm not even really liking this skin because you do lose inventory and marksman HP by 5%. So you're not even going to be using it in the open field unless you're fielding 5 cavalry as well. So I just really dislike this skin. If you're trying to get this just because you want it, good for you. I'm just going to say I just would not suggest wasting your speed ups and stuff for this. Maybe save them up for a strongest lord in the future when the generational 3 heroes come out with the new season 3 when we expect it in the future. However, there is a good city skin. There is an actual good city skin, and it is coming from the 14-day anniversary event that is, I'm expecting to start next week around Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. It depends whenever the devs decide to set it going. But this Palace of Dreams is a magic unit HP of plus 5%. And I'm not going to lie, if you do not get this skin, you have lost out. Because this is going to be one skin for PvP you're going to have equipped all the time, especially for a free-to-play player, because HP is honestly one of the most king stats out there for PvP, and a lot of players that think you just need attack, attack, and attack. And I don't know, maybe it's from my Rise of Kingdoms background. I know in this game there's so much attack already, and there's not enough defense or HP gain, which you really do need, that can change the tides of battle. So I do recommend getting this one. You're only losing 5% cavalry unit HP. You don't care about that because you're normally using like 2 mages and 2 archers together, and you're rocking it, right? You're never using cavalry. So really good skin. Would recommend getting this. And then to finish up on the cosmetic side, we do get to see the little party time title or nameplate, if you want to say it. And then if we go into your cosmetics, we can go down and check out the 1-year anniversary frame and even preview what it's going to look like on myself, right? So again, if you are wondering why the anniversary event has not started, it most likely is because we're not on the 1 day yet. We're not on the actual 1-year anniversary. We're about 1 or 2 weeks a bit early when it comes to it. So imagine next week or the week after it's gonna start, and it's a 14-day event. So again, when it comes out, guys, I'll give you all the sweet information and stuff that we can go over. So let's go into actually the hero changes that they've done. That is Tohar, Indies, as well as the artifact change as well, which is the new clone feathering effect of the Oath of Stompy. So I'm going to quickly cover Indies first, because honestly, this is the fastest thing to say about the patch notes. If you do recommend or remember or even watched my video when we covered the new patch notes that was disclosed on the Discord, we checked out the official forum post, and it stated Indies was going to get a very, very small buff to her healing, meaning she would get targeted and then 2 other friendly nearby enemy allies should get healed too, meaning you got 3 people healing, not just 2. However, it doesn't appear this is the case. It's still acting the exact same, and even The just skill itself, it has not been updated. On top of this change, we did expect a percentage change. This should be a 8% Legion cap bonus, but that is not the case either. So we can see none of that has applied in the game. But when we look at Tohar, Tohar's been buffed. Yes, Pumbaa, the one and only Disney lovable character that everyone absolutely hated on from the start, has been buffed. And they actually did the changes like I suggested in my Let's Talk Tohar video a few days ago, or even I should say about a week ago, that we were talking about when it comes to him before finding out any of the changes. And that was simply getting rid of this move from channeling effect as step 1. And then step 2, what they've done as a buff, they've made it so you don't need to do as much and basically deal way more damage quicker. So that means you only need to launch 3 normal attacks over 5, and then this means you deal 3 balls of damage every second. So it's one ball for 3 seconds, and you're done. It's not 5 seconds, not 5 balls, not 5 normal attacks. So this is a straight up damage increase in terms of how fast you can actually deal the damage out, right? Which is a really good thing, because when it comes to the total damage, it's the same. If you are wondering, it is the same. So if we have this skill max and it's 500, you're going to deal 1500 damage. The same as before, we had a maximum damage of 300, dealing 5 orbs, that's 1500 damage. So we're still doing the same amount of total damage. It's just easier, it's quicker, and just more, fluent and more cool to do. Because on top of all of those changes, they've done a really funky one, which I didn't even see coming. And they've made him almost like a Wild West shooter with a quick draw effect. So after 4 seconds, if you have your, March, your Deputy, or your Primary, depending where your Tohar is positioned, if they cast their Rage skill, it's going to make this 4 seconds turn to 0, and you can instantly go again, which is really, really cool. So I do like this, really fun effect, keeps the uptime really, really high. So it's going to make Tohar really, really good. On top of this, they did change this skill as well. If you're wondering the benefits of this new plateau protection, it just means as soon as you start channeling this effect and you start dealing 1 ball of damage, guess what? You're going to keep this buff on for 5 seconds. So you could run away and you're still going to maintain technically that bonus of 35% defense bonus. Really nice little change again for him, buffing him the viability in PvP. And then finally, they've done the 5-second buff to his attack, which is great. So it's gone from 3 to 5 seconds, almost kind of like, a reminiscence of the legendary 5 from his skill 1. So that's all the Tohar changes. He's definitely viable. If you're wondering if you should get him, I definitely would recommend getting him now. And if you missed him, you're gonna have to buy him through the daily deals, unfortunately for you guys. Also, a bunch of heroes have now got new dynamic emojis. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too happy with the choices. Why? Because both of the legendary choices are only for spenders only. So the 2 current legendary heroes that you can pick from is Husk and your Lilia. So if you're not a spender, unfortunately you're not going to get those 2 right of now. But you can get one for Eliana, one for Bakar, one for Gwen Win. You can also get one for your Alwyn, Waldir, your Craig. You can also get one for Chakcha, one for Keller, and then on top of this, Atheist. And that is all of them that you can get. I won't spoil all of those, emojis. You can check them out. But if you want to know which ones are probably the best ones, I'm going to straight out say this one for Eliana is really good, where she's just drinking a bottle of pop while watching the show. I think that one's a really good one. And top of that, I think actually Keller's is a really good one too, with a really We're Rich one, feels really good. I like this one too. So really good 2 emojis, and they're the ones that I'm probably going to aim for first out of all of them. But let's see. Hopefully they add more. Hopefully they add, Madeline and Garwood, because somehow Garwood, my boy, did not get a dynamic emoji, and I'm upset about it. But it is what it is. So let's go into the next section, which is going to be all about those cavalry artifacts and cavalry unit changes in the game. So the first change they actually done to cavalry, and it does involve the Oath of Stormpeak, is buff this artifact. And I'm not going to lie, I do want to say it's viable now. I want to be that guy. I want to be the first who might say it, and maybe I just, you know, go back on my word. But I do want to say Overstorm Peak is viable right now. Because if you have this, even at level 3, and it's doing 70% of your March damage, and it's dealing that extra bonus, you're going to realize how good this thing is. Because I'm going to showcase it right here, right now for you guys. So what they've done is basically when you use your artifact here, you're going to summon the same little clone of your legion, and if it's a cavalry legion, you're also going to gain the effect, as you can imagine, of unyielding rush. So it's immediately gaining that rage on it. I'm going to need to use CP just to test it here, but you're going to see it go and hit straight away with 1,000 rage and do its damage, right? So it's actually really good if you are in PvP. You can summon this and almost get like a double skill hit on your enemies, which is really cool. And the thing with this effect, I will admit, I will say it does rely on your Forendil. It will rely on your Forendil, because if you are afflicting that cowardice trigger, you're going to get that rampage buff, remember. So just remember, you do want this equipped to a Forendil and X March. So it could be Emrys, Bakshi, Theodore, you name it, right? Just make sure there's a Forendil involved. But honestly, it's a really cool effect that you can see, like, it basically just summons another March of mine and deals a decent amount of damage, just basically 50% even at level 1 for me, but you can see it was a decent amount of damage. So that's why I want to say it's probably going to be viable for the future. Try it out yourself, and you're probably going to get some decent results out of it, right? The next thing we want to talk about is actually some unit changes, right? Because what they've done is a couple of things involving the units and the actual interactions of the buildings. So one thing they've done, as you guys know, the League of Order have a really cool, you know, progressional image system all the way up to their T5 units. And you know, when you see a T5 Vestal, it's all shiny and golden, right? In the game right now, they've done the same thing to the Wilderburg units, and I've got a nice little image slideshow here showcasing the new Tier 5 units that's been given into the game, courtesy of one of our T5 players, Rebel in FS. So big shout out to you for giving out these images, and you can see they look really cool. I must admit, the images look fantastic, and I love the look of them, right? But the problem is when we start to compare these to the T4 units, because we have an image here, and a big shout out to Pause. We've got the T5, which is Pause's units, and then Actina being the T4 units. And you can see there's not really much difference, apart from clearly Pause's units have been going to Burger King, they've had the Nando's, they've been eating the good, right? Compared to the T4 that are clearly starving and look like twigs, right? And my problem is with this, even though this is a really good change, I wish the T5 units was more, you know, standing out. And what I mean by this is there's no golden weapon, there's no golden armor, there's no golden trims, there's no yellow or gold. So you can clearly see a visual difference from this to this unit. Because you've got to imagine now, you know, if we are coming out of this and we're going into quickly a battlefield scenario up at the top, when you're trying to look for units like this, you can see these are T5 because of the, or T4 because of, you know, the way they look. But I'm not going to be able to do that with those units, and it's going to make it a lot harder when it comes into PvP when you're going against a Wilderburg player, right? So I do want to just throw that out there for you guys to take note in. Another change they did with the actual buildings, and this is a Pog Champ one, is the upgrade feature. So what I've got here is basically just to showcase it off 10 little units to upgrade on the knights. And what we'll do just to put it on is one of these units and promote them. And what used to happen when you would upgrade a unit, as you guys know, it would come back to this screen. And this would mean sometimes when you're trying to obviously upgrade your T4 to T5, or if you were trying to upgrade your Tier 3 to Tier 4, what could have happened is sometimes you mistrained and you actually trained a new fresh bunch of Tier 3 units, which would have been a problem. But now if we click on this building, you're going to notice it's immediately staying on the promote screen. And obviously now it's going to 9. But if I was doing a certain amount, you can see it's always going to maintain that lock, right? So if I had say 500,000 units and I was doing 20k bundles, it's going to always promote the 22,000, 22,000, 22,000 every single time now I go to click on this and hit the promote, which I think is a fantastic quality of life change for all players and especially for the spenders in the game for them. So let's go over some more changes in the patch 1.023 so you guys don't feel even more lost out, because there has been even more added into this. So there's been even more quality of life and basically changes to tech and policies. And there's one that I want to give a big shout out to, because I don't want you guys to get caught out. So in your policies, you'll notice right now there has been a big shift, and we gained the 5% increase in recovery speed. So you should have this unlocked instead of your gem policies, because these have now switched in game, which is really good. The problem is when you go to check your gems, right? Because the thing is, if we go into our eco tech tree, you're going to notice the gem actual one is right far and deep in, and this isn't a problem if you have no tech running. But you can see I've got 92 days and 92 days to roll, meaning I'm going to most likely do the unthinkable on camera. Yes, pay 104 gems to hit it, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to unlock my gem prospecting right now. Because if you don't do that and you have obviously your research cooking, guess what, guys? You're not going to be able to farm any sort of gems if you're a free-to-play player. So please be aware of that. On top of this, there has been some changes I'm just going to quickly showcase. In the Dragon Trials, they have made, again, some of these levels, if you are stuck on them, easier, so you can do that nice and quickly. On top of this, they've added more quality of life changes to be able to skip, and even when you go to these conversations now and we just hit skip, it does it straight away. You don't have to do any sort of communication if you have that skip feature. Really nice little quick zoom all the way through. And then on top of this, we can look at the lucky spin, and this does the exact same thing. If we skip and roll 5 just for the video, instantly it does those 5. We don't see the mini version of it anymore. So if you do want to spin another 5, you're gonna have to do it without it to get that juicy dopamine hit. And let's see if this last 5 during the video we get some really good Madeline heads, because we've got 2 so far. And let's see if we can get an unlock for her before we hit the free ones on the 10 out of 10. But just to see it, free sculptures for her, and that just showcases the difference now of the skip and non-skip of that event. And finally, what they've done, as you can imagine, change battle accuracy. It's just a little name change on this little policies. Everything stayed the same here for you guys. The other change they did do is, again, when you're looking at these stages, you'll see now it is 24 hours, not 12 hours for the top 300, top 100, and technically the top 20 types of glory rankings to get these extra, crystals for your seasonal talents. And the other thing they did do, and a big W for this, is if you notice, they've actually improved the movement for units. So I'm not going to say the units with melee to range, that doesn't feel any better. I'm just going to be honest, I hadn't seen the difference. But the difference is when you move between cities has been definitely changed. You can see it, look. We maintain 100% of our map speed, even when doing some crazy shapes all the way around. So you don't have to worry now about going around structures, going around keeps, and slowing down randomly in the open field, right? So that is going to be it. That's all I'm going to be covering. That's all you're honestly going to need to be thriving. There is a little bit more extra info that you're going to need. That is all in the mail. Just check it out for the in-depth stuff. If you're wondering about the Annervasry event, just again, remember, I would imagine this to come Monday next week. So you'll see we have the Song of Solidarity here, which is just run out. But imagine next week, this will be the 14-day event. We just can't physically see that anyway this week. And then when that event comes out, you can imagine it. I'm going to give you all the guides on what you need to do, how to make your value in those events so you don't waste any spins, any gems, any of those tokens that you're going to need to participate. So that is everything you're going to need to know. I hope you've enjoyed it. Smash the like button and subscribe. If I've missed anything, maybe put it in the comments section below if it's really big, important, and, you know, let everyone else know. But I think I've covered everything you honestly need to know in this patch that I've done through the live stream. And if you want to check out the live stream, I will put a little link above where you can see my first impressions of all of this stuff, and we go point by point on the mail and we check the differences out in game point by point, like I say. So until the next video, stay safe, stay sneaky, guys, and peace out.